Hi, I'm April from Sew Local Stitch Lounge, and today we're going to be making a heart mobile to hang up in your window. Here's what we need to make our mobile. We have our pattern template, we have fusible fleece, 3 fabrics that are a little bit larger for the large and small hearts, a smaller piece of fabric for some extra small hearts, stick to hang the mobile from, and some embroidery floss. It's also great to have sewing scissors, paper scissors, pins, some kind of measuring tool, either a ruler or a sewing gauge, something to poke out your corners, some thread, marking pens that disappear for sewing, or you could use a pencil if you don't have those tools, and it's nice to have a seam ripper on hand. Now we'll cut out our pattern pieces. Make sure to keep your fabric legend right here. It shows you which letter is which fabric that came in your kit. After you have your large heart and your small heart template cut out, we're going to pin them to our fusible fleece and cut 9 small hearts from the fusible fleece. You can cut them 2 at a time, and 3 large hearts from the fusible fleece. I have my stack right here. I have 1 left to cut. It's time to cut fabric A. We need 2 of the big hearts. We have our fabric folded in half, so we'll get 2 at a time. And then we need 4 of the small hearts. So just to make sure we don't run out of fabric, we're going to use our fusible fleece ones that we cut out as our templates. Fabric B, cut 2 large hearts and 4 small hearts. Again, our fabric is folded in half. From fabric C, we'll cut 2 large hearts and 2 small hearts. From fabric D, we need 4 small hearts. I'm going to make a stack of half of all of the hearts, and I'm just going to put that away because those ones do not need fusible fleece. And a stack, another stack of hearts that I'm going to bring over to the iron. We're taking the hearts that we cut out and fusing fleece onto the back. We're going to take our fleece piece and make sure that the rough side is facing up, and then we're going to take the heart and put it so the nice side is looking up towards us. Use the iron to fuse those together. And you're going to go ahead and do that to all the hearts that you brought over to your ironing board. We're taking 1 heart that has fusible fleece on the back and laying that right side up, and 1 from our pile of just fabric. We're going to put them right sides together, and then we are taking a marking pen or pencil, and on one of the straight edges we're going to leave a gap open that is 2.5 inches. So like this to here. And then we're going to pin these together, and you're going to do this to all of your hearts. Once you have your hearts all marked and pinned together, We're gonna go to the sewing machine and you're gonna start at one of your markings. So all the way around the perimeter until you get to your next mark. This opening is here so that we can turn the heart the right way out after. So I'm gonna start sewing at one of my marks, and we're using the edge of the foot against the edge of your fabric as your seam allowance. And you're gonna backstitch at the beginning and the end. When we get to the point, we are gonna put our needle down and then pivot. And that's not quite where we wanna be, so I'm gonna move ahead a couple of stitches. That's better. I've sewn all of my pairs of hearts together and left the opening. Now it's time to trim the seam allowance. You want it to look like this, so it's all trimmed close to your seam, making sure not to clip into your seam. And then the space that you left open, you don't want to trim that part down because we'll need to be able to fold that in later on when we're top stitching. You're going to do this to all of your hearts. I'm going to turn all of the hearts right side out through the gap that we left. And just use a pokey stick of some sort or a pencil to go around the edge of your seam. Then we're going to go to the iron. We're going to tuck in the fabric that was left at the opening, and we're going to press all of these like that. So that it lines up nicely, and then we're going to press all the rest of the heart so it's nice and flat. It's time to top stitch. We are going to have a scant 1/8 inch seam allowance, and we're going to set our stitch length to 3, and we go ahead and backstitch just a wee little bit. After your pieces are all sewn, you can lay them out and arrange them in whatever configuration you would like. We're going to take our 3 pieces of embroidery floss that are longer, and we're going to use those to string our hearts, and the 30-inch piece we're just going to set aside for now. We're going to measure 10 inches in and make a knot. And we're going to take our needle and thread and put it through the center of the heart. You can kind of open these up. And you're coming out the bottom end like this. And I'm going to hold the half that has the knot and then pull the other part of the string all the way through here. There we go. So I have the knot stuck at the top of the heart. And then we're gonna put another knot on the bottom right here. So that'll help keep this heart in place. And we want to try and make this knot so that it's right at the edge of the heart. I'm going to continue stringing the hearts with a 2.5 or so inch gap in between each one. So I'm just tying the strands of hearts onto my stick. Just putting a double knot at the top like that, and then I'll trim these off and we'll have 3 rows of hearts. Now I'm going to tie this last piece of embroidery floss on, the 30-inch piece, on each end of the stick so that we can hang it up. There we go.